Howdy folks, my name's Christian and welcome to Bullish on Farming. Today I'm just shaking out some hay for the mums. I set up a nice multi-day paddock here today. Well, actually I set this up a couple days ago. What am I saying? It's now Sunday morning. On Friday evening I set up a 2-day paddock in here, or what I thought would be at least 2 days. And a regular 1-day paddock with our current mob group, about 50 head, is 40 yards by 150. And I doubled that, 80 by 150. But I came in Sunday morning, so it's been a day and a half, and there's still plenty of feed in this paddock. Having said that, I'm gonna roll out 2 bales, and I plan on that getting to tomorrow afternoon. So what I planned on being a 2-day paddock is actually going to turn into a 2.5-day paddock. And this is just kind of an example of when I've mentioned before, every time your animals are on the land, you have an opportunity to regenerate your land or serve it in some way towards increasing fertility. What was initially a 2-day paddock with no carbon being spread now turns into a 2.5-day paddock with spreading out carbon, that being the bales. And you can see the tractor there. I started the line all the way where that calf is, and I shook it out, and it was perfect. If you guys haven't seen the shake and bake hay video, should have called it just the shake and hay. This is what we're talking about. So as you can see, it's spread in a nice distribution for the cattle to pick through. And then whatever's left just goes into the carbon layer over top the soil. Mix that with some manure and you got a magic formula for fertility. And so it worked really well, and then once I got about there, the core dropped. And then from that position, I just rolled it out like a carpet. And as you can see, the cattle had followed that line. And I'll show you quickly what that looks like. So when you roll it out, it's a bit thicker, but it's pretty much the same. And after the cattle are done with it, I usually don't have to spread these. Where you end up getting kind of a clump like I have behind those girls there, I'm gonna kick that around a bit. And I might as well show what that looks like. But I came in and all the rumens were full, so no one was hungry or without feed, but this is what I'm talking about, something thick like this. So a pitchfork will help break this up, or you can just kick parts of it out. And it's more labor intensive, folks, but your feet are on the land and you're evaluating daily. So I mean, I'm 31 years old, I got a lot of energy, and when it comes to regenerating the land, I have the enthusiasm for it. So doing this extra on the ground labor intensive management style is worth it for me, because it goes towards investing in the fertility of our soil and the overall well-being of our production and everything that we can offer here on this farm. So I want to take a quick look here. That's a steer, last year's calf. Take a look at the gut on this boy. Nice and full calf. Today's the 22nd, or is it the 23rd? It's around there. And our cattle are still on pasture, and we got grazing days ahead of us. Take a look at this mama right here. Excuse me. Look at the condition on this girl. She's got a calf on her hip, and she's got a calf going inside her. Had the bull out July 15th with this main group, so what does that give us? August, September, October. They all can be about 3 months pregnant. Or less, 2 months, 1 month, depends when the bull got his job done. But as you can see, the cattle are in a nice single file line, and they'll eat through that bale. And I got one more pass in there, you can see, that I'm going to spread after this video. But looking down, still tons of feed. Still tons. Like if I left the cattle in here till tomorrow morning, we'd be fine. But like I say, it's an opportunity to lay some carbon down on our land. And contribute to the fertility of our soil while getting another half day of feed out of it. It's a win-win. So let's take a look at some of our calves here who seem to be conglomerating in a group. These calves at the oldest will be 7 months. The youngest will probably be about 3.5 months. Take a look at that calf right there. Look at the gut on it. These are Black Angus, folks. Bigger cattle, they put on weight quick, but in a grass-fed program, if you're not grazing right, you might not get the jump start you get. And anyways, I won't speak too much about that. All I can say is that our calves, they haven't been weaned yet, even if they're 7 months. And that's because our cattle are on pasture. So we want to keep giving them that nutritionally dense mother's milk that the cows are producing off our land, still grazing the top halves of the plant. And you can see that in our calves here. Nice, full calves. And I'll just let them speak for themselves, but if you're watching these videos, I think you care. What does mob grazing do for the group? How do your calves perform with what you got going on? And you can kind of get a visual there. And like I say, our mums, we're looking good. Got a lineup, I'll just walk, give you a show. Looking good. And yeah, so really happy about what we're able to do here. I'll come in tomorrow on Monday. In the afternoon, we go over to that field. That field will have had 140 days rest, just like this one. And we're ready to start grazing it and see how many days we can get out of it. It should take us to the end of the month. And after this, we go to a high and dry field. We bale graze for about another month. And I'll keep you guys posted on when we're doing that. Take a look at this calf right here. I mentioned it before, but if you're running a grass-fed program, and many of you know this, okay? I'm just talking about our herd here, and it's just farm banter. So the longer you keep your cattle on pasture in a grass-fed operation, those are the prime months where your cattle are really putting on the weight. This is our bull here. 2-year-old bull, grass-fed, that's it. He's looking good. See if we can move this mama. Hey, Mom. Angus, mean, nice full bull. He's still gonna grow yet, only 2 years old. But he has definitely had his way. By this point, I think the job should be done. 20 mums. We'll see. And yeah, so the more you keep your cattle on pasture, the better weight gains you're going to be getting as a beef producer. If you're not getting a grain intensive diet, which has that higher calorie and energy, and you need to be great. Your grazing is so important. That's what I'm trying to say. Because that's where you're really going to make a difference for your cattle. It's not when you're feeding hay in the winter. Okay? And of course, you can optimize your feeding program, but there's no doubt that nature's intended feed for these animals, growing straight out of the ground from solar energy, is the more nutritionally dense way for these animals to thrive and perform. And so we try and model around that. And that's our distinguishing factor. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. God bless you all. We'll see you on the next one.